Hey guys, it's Dan the Mushroom Man. Just wanted to remind you that if you donate to those Facebook stars, all those donations will go to Fungi and Friends school program at Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. And that school program is where we bring hands-on skills into the classroom to children and teach them about the fungi kingdom and the knowledge to grow those mushrooms. Again, learn more at the website greatrivermushrooms.com, folks.
Good morning, everybody. What's going on? It's Dan the Mushroom Man doing another little episode of the Mushroom Lounge, and I have a little free time today. It's been a really busy week with my job, so I try to do a live whenever I have the time, and I appreciate you guys joining me today. What's going on? Terry, Doris, how you doing? Chris, hope you're having a swell day. It's a beautiful Saturday. Every Saturday that we go through the year, it seems to get warmer and warmer, and that's really, really awesome because I love having very nice Saturdays when you're, your day off, when you're able to do whatever you want. Everybody loves a beautiful day like that. Appreciate you guys joining me. I'm doing very well. We're actually going to talk about a few different things today before I even go into the lounge. This is actually day 6 without me having coffee. So I actually quit drinking coffee last week, and this is the longest streak I've ever gone through in probably decades without having coffee. I've actually noticed pretty substantial changes in my life or in my body, and I'll talk about that more today. I've actually been using a mushroom alternative coffee, so there's no coffee in it. It's just mushrooms, honey, and chocolate cooking cocoa. And I was going to make a cup of it here in a second, but I'm going to tag a few more people in. Please tag your friends in. Hit that like, love, share, reaction button, and let's learn a little stuff today. I have a few more people that I wanted to tag in here. And please take the time as well, tag somebody in. We're going to do a giveaway here. I'm going to pay, as always, for somebody else's cup of coffee. Since I'm not buying them anymore, let's get somebody else a cup of coffee. So we're going to do another free cash giveaway. Straight cash, homie. Get that going here. There we go. Let's bring that up the screen. And I got my fishing hat on, my mushroom fishing hat. So this hat fits 2 things. I can either, mushroom farm in it, or I can go fishing in it. So I got it on today. I'm ready to get into more fishing weather, more camping weather, I should say, because I'm ready to do some camping. And of course, if you're going to camp, you're going to fish. But I'm more excited about the camping aspect and getting out and traveling more, seeing nature, and connecting with nature. What's going on, Jeremy? How you doing? Yeah, I heard that there's some crappy weather over in Ohio. I don't know if that's where you're from, but I have a friend over there who said it was raining. Now, in Quincy, Illinois, it is beautiful out there. There's a couple clouds in the sky, but I think it's supposed to be mid 60s. And then tomorrow, we got some rain moving in. And finish tagging some more people in here. You could as well. I hope you enjoy the music. I'm really liking this song that I found. And it's a little bit of different kind of music mixed into one song, so I really enjoy it. And I think we almost got them all. Share up to a few more groups here, and then be ready to talk more. I'm gonna actually make this coffee here. I'm gonna show you how I actually make it. Yeah, it looks like that. I'm over here. And if you could too, also go over. We're live over on the Great River Mushrooms page. Go over there and please like that. We're almost up to 1,750 followers, and once we get to 1,750, we're gonna have another big celebration giveaway. We have big giveaways every 250 followers, and we give away a mushroom box. And a mushroom box is like 4 to 5 different of our products put into one, so we usually give those away at that time. And I can share a few more groups here. And please, if you have any people who are interested in mushrooms or herbal medicine, please tag them in here. I love having people with similar mindsets in here who like to talk about herbal medicine, who like to talk about health, mental health, and who just like to, find better ways to live healthier. And as we get older, it becomes a lot more difficult, to do whatever you want to your body. Your 20s are over, you're in your 40s like I am, and I hit a kind of a brick wall in 2023. My health kind of changed, and you gotta change with it. So one of the things that I did to change was I started finding better alternatives to drinking coffee, because I have bipolar, and which is a pretty serious mental health issue. So coffee, especially coffee, can have very profound effects on people who have bipolar. So especially me, although it increases my creativity, it also causes your ADHD to get out of control, it causes mania, and it causes heart palpitations, which it was doing to me. I was actually getting heart palpitations because of drinking coffee. So I kind of found an alternative, and I'm going to go get the hot water here, and I'm going to show you how I make it. Give me 1 second. So we just have some hot water here. I'm going to bring this up bigger here. And we have hot water here. We're just going to put hot water into a cup now, and I'm going to drink the rest of my other. So we're just going to use about 8 ounces of water, I think, hot water. And right now I'm experimenting with different things of how to make this mushroom alternative. It's not really a mushroom. It has no coffee in it. It's just going to be mushrooms. And this is a product that I'm trying to develop. And man, there's already a scam banner in here. I came in here fast. Got one scammer. So this is a product that we're going to be making soon. And I have this mushroom powder that I bought last year. It was before I ever had any idea to make my own mushroom coffee. So it has actually 10 mushrooms in it. I've been putting a scoop of that into this water, and by itself, it doesn't taste very good. So you definitely have to add other things to it to make it, taste better. So you can see all these are 10. They're 10 different mushrooms, and I usually take a very big heaping scoop. So there's a big heaping scoop, dump it in the water. And then you can take any kind of cocoa. I do not like to use sweetened cocoa because obviously you're adding sugar but eliminating coffee, but then adding sugar. You're not. Most people who try to eliminate coffee out of their life are trying to do it for health reasons. So you don't introduce more sugar into your coffee. So I use something. This is a baking cocoa that I've used for years. This is Rodell, and I love this brand. This stuff, if you make chocolate chip cookies with this stuff, they're always the bomb. Great for making edibles. But this stuff, I just take a scoop out of it, and this is more like it's more like gourmet cocoa. So all that's in here is in this whole thing is 100% cocoa. So there's no sugar added, there's no sweeteners, because there's no unhealthy things. It's pure cocoa. Now, if you eat pure cocoa by itself, it doesn't taste very good. The reason that chocolate tastes good is because we add all the sugar to it. And so we're just gonna add another heap and scoop of the chocolate. So we got a heap and scoop. Let me get a little more. We got a heap and scoop of the mushroom coffee. We got a heap and scoop of the cocoa in an 8-ounce glass of water, hot water, I should say. And I have a really cheap honey right now, but just use any honey. This is stuff I had around because I didn't have the better honey. I usually buy honey from Sam's Club. They have a really good brand there, or buy your local honey as well. This is just your cheap Hy-Vee brand. That is a knockoff, so I'm not really sure what it is, but it's good. So we're going to use our honey as our sweetener instead of actually using sugar. So add as much as you want, because honey, it's good for you. I usually add about that much. Give it a good squeeze, and then give it a good stir. This is now a great alternative to actually not drinking coffee. And I've actually, like I said, I'm on day 6. I'm not drinking coffee, and it's been really helpful. And these are 10 kinds of mushrooms in it. So you're starting off your day with something that your whole body needs, not only your brain, your cognitive ability, your stomach, your digestive system, and your nervous system. So when you start the day like this, instead of actually drinking coffee, what I have discovered is a whole array of effects have now happened. This past week, I may have been a little bit more tired during the day, but I've actually slept better at night. That's the first thing I've noticed. Deeper sleep at night. I have less digestive issues. I have a finer cognitive ability to recall information. So I've definitely been able to think better. I wouldn't say that I shouldn't say you're able to think better, because coffee does have the ability to do that. I should be able to say that I'm able to think and recall better. So I'm able to say, hey, like the other day, I usually am very bad at remembering where a house is, because it takes me about the third time I go to a house, I'll remember where it is. But this past week, it was a very complex neighborhood. I actually remember where it was, and I've never actually been able to do that early in my life. It's usually 2 or 3 times. So that's the thing I've noticed. I'm like, well, I was able to recall that memory of where this house was, and then play the map in my head. And I really think that is because of the lack of caffeine, the lack of coffee. I think there is something there that has the ability to recall information. Now, if you don't like, this is powder, so you can kind of taste the powdery mix in there. I wouldn't say it's like pure water, but it's really good. And I've actually drank it. It's gotten cold. It gets cold really fast, colder than coffee, but maybe it's just me. But it even tastes good cold. Now, and you can add more honey and to add more sweetener as well. But you really have 3 ingredients in it that are actually really healthy for you, instead of drinking that coffee, going back for your second cup of coffee, because they do have profound effects on your brain. Now, that coffee is a drug, and a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't accept that. And coffee is a drug, whether you want to say it or not. And even in the military, when they train soldiers, they do not allow trained soldiers to take coffee. And there is a reason before that, because even the military knows that it is a mind-altering drug. So even in training of any kind of soldier, they're usually not allowed to drink coffee. In fact, if you get caught with coffee during training, you can get in a lot of trouble. And when I went through the training, I remember that, like, there were people who would go to KP, which is Kitchen Patrol, and they would sneak coffee. They would drink coffee there, or like have a piece of chocolate and act like they did cocaine. Because you had to sneak around, and you had to they don't allow it in training, and there is a reason for that. You have to remember that coffee is a drug. You just get used to it after drinking it for so long. Hey, Becca, how you doing? What's everybody drinking this morning? How's everybody doing this Saturday morning? You guys drinking your morning coffee? I'm not hating on coffee today. I love coffee. To each their own. I'm just trying to find, healthy choice in my life to help me be better to my body and be better to my mind as I age and get older. Becca, we're just talking about this is day 6 now that I haven't had coffee. Actually, the last cup of coffee I had was on Coffee Time with Rasta last Sunday. I had a cup of coffee then. I ran out of coffee really, and I was like, well, maybe this is the time to just try, mushroom alternative coffee. And I've been doing that this week. I actually just made a cup. I've been experimenting with this 10-in-1 mushroom mix. So this is really just a 10 mushroom mix. It's really your generic version that you can buy on Amazon. It's a proprietary blend, so they don't tell you how much of each one's in it, but it definitely has lion's mane, turkey tail, cordyceps, oyster mushrooms, wood ear mushrooms, maitake, shiitake, chaga, and reishi. All beneficial mushrooms, but a lot of the oyster species don't have the same effects as the chaga, reishi, turkey tail, and lion's mane. It's interesting that they throw the oyster mushrooms in there because oyster mushrooms are great for you, but they're at the bottom of the line with how many vitamins they really have for your body. My mix will probably will have 5 different mushrooms. It'll be the chaga, reishi, lion's mane, turkey tail, and then I think we will probably throw the maitake in there. I've heard a lot of good things about maitake. Not very familiar with growing it. Eventually I will, but coffee with cinnamon. Good morning, Doris. How are you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Weather's great. Becca, you came into Illinois when the weather was great. I think it's still good where you are. And I know in Ohio it's kind of shitty over there if you're over in the Northeast. Yeah, well, I actually use this. This is some of the cocoa I use. But I use unsweetened cocoa. And I love using European products. If you can get a hold of any kind of European baking cocoa, like their cocoa over there is like higher level shit than we make over here. So remember, we got Hershey's. You got Hershey's cocoa down here, and then you have European chocolate cocos, which are way up here. So I love using European chocolates, gourmet chocolates. My sister-in-law, my brother actually lived in Europe for 2 years, and she loves to cook. And she was telling me about how, how awesome a lot of the chocolate products are over there. They're the kings of making chocolate over in Europe. And they use a lot of very good products. It's like a gourmet cocoa, which is what I use in my coffee. And I will use in my own brand of coffee as well. I am definitely not going to use some cheap cocoa mix. We'll definitely go out of our way to make sure it's premium. Because cocoa alone is very beneficial for you. So when we add sugar, it's not. That's the difference between the American way and the European way. They definitely don't add as much sugar. We are literally addicted to sugar in America in so many ways, and it's kind of sad, but it's the way it is. Sugar is an addicting substance, and companies put it in their products to take advantage of that. Same thing with salt. McDonald's fries are highly addictive, more or less, because of the salt. Now, if you ever had McDonald's fries without the salt, they don't taste the same. They don't have that same, as I call it, addicting quality. So it's the salt mixed with that perfect taste of the potato that make McDonald's fries, so addicting. So, a lot of addicting things out there that our body loves. Sugar, salt, Yeah, I'd be right, because it's probably stronger, but nobody should ever be feeding their dog chocolate, any kind of chocolate. So always keep chocolates away from any animal. And even if it happens by accident, you gotta do what you gotta do to protect your dog. I had my dog, he never ate chocolate. In fact, he never found any interest in it. My dog was very picky with what he ate, but he did eat some Fico once, and he got really high. He got into some of my Fico once, and I found it on the floor, and he had licked it. And man, He was sleeping for the next 18 hours. He was the laziest dog. Yeah, it's beautiful. I hope it's beautiful where you guys are at. I know that Rasta said he was going golfing this morning, so it must be very nice. And as always, we still have those Lion's Mane caps on sale on the website. We are developing a lot of new products, and I have to do it fast because next week I'm teaching a class in Macomb, Illinois. And I bought some new products. I actually have this thing I have. It's a still air box. And if I can fit it in the screen here. So this is a still air box, and it allows me to put my arms in here and work inside this box. And this is going to be used in classroom settings because obviously I can't haul my box that literally weighs that device that I have inside of my lab is like 100, 200 pounds. And I'm not hauling that thing around to teach people how to grow mushrooms. So the still air box is basically an enclosed environment. You'll clean everything in there, put your arms through it, and then it allows you to do, work in a sterile environment, which I will have that in my lab as well. I will have a few of those. I really like having those because you can do experiments inside there, take your arms out, and then everything in there is enclosed in that experiment. And you can really have a better control environment. Those have really come down in price a lot. Like literally 4 years ago, those were $120, and now they're $35. And that's thanks to Amazon. I know a lot of people hate Amazon, but Amazon helps drive down costs by adding more competitors to the field. So when one company only sells a still air box, they can sell for $120, but when 6 companies get on the market, everybody has to lower their prices. So the fact that it's come down to a more affordable price is awesome. And now I'll buy a few of them. But let me bring myself down there. We still have that giveaway. Yeah. So hit that giveaway. Straight cash, homie. We're gonna pay for somebody's coffee. And tell me what you're smoking this morning too. I got some blueberry muffin. Smoking on some blueberry muffin and drinking some mushroom coffee. But cheers, everybody. I think this is the beginning of the weekend too, where we're going to see a lot less people on Facebook during the weekends. I read through a lot of data when people are on social media the most. It's Sunday night. And as the weather increases during the springtime, there's actually less and less people every weekend on the social medias, and which makes sense. People are outside doing yard work. They're enjoying not being stuck in their house because it was a long winter, especially January, and January was cold. And we're now 2 days left in March, going into April, and looking forward to summer. We definitely had a tease of it yesterday. It was 74 degrees in Quincy, down to short sleeve weather, working until 7 o'clock last night. If you could too, hit that like, love, share, reaction button as well, please. We have 10 people in the house on this beautiful Saturday morning. Appreciate you all joining me. And I wonder, anybody else out there, has anybody else ever stopped drinking coffee or had to stop drinking coffee? What did you use to stop drinking it? And what did you use as an alternative? Because I've quit drinking. Some of the things I've done over the years, I quit cigarettes 12 years ago. I was actually a pack and a half smoker. Quit that 12 years ago. I actually haven't drank alcohol in 4 years. I think it's about 4 years. Maybe it's 3. I don't remember. But I just don't drink anymore. Not because I have an issue with it, because I choose not to, because I know how bad it is for your body. Now, your occasional, alcoholic beverage is good, but overconsumption, into your 40s is not a healthy way to live anymore. So I just chose not to do it. I'll smoke the cannabis instead. And now I'm at my third thing here. I've wanted to stop drinking coffee for a while. I know what it does to my mental health, especially bipolar. It can cause a lot of manic issues, and it can cause a lot of ADHD issues. And a lot of people don't realize that if you have ADHD issues, I said that right, attention deficit hyper type, disorder. Coffee may be very beneficial to quit. You may actually see a decrease in those ADHD symptoms. And there's a lot of science out there to back that up, that coffee can be very bad for people who have bipolar, especially bipolar, because it has an effect on the same brain that you struggle with. So it can actually, make that part of the brain struggle even more. Because people who have bipolar issues, like I do, have prefrontal cortex issues. Your prefrontal cortex is actually where you plan your life, your ability to look into the future, your ability to plan things out, really lies in that section. I actually consume coffee, that part of my brain completely shuts down. I can't plan shit. I have no ability to sit down and do anything on the computer and actually plan for the future. So there are a lot of effects that happen that some of us can quit drinking coffee, can have a benefit from. Where's that book at? This book, the author of this book, this is a great book. If you do not have this book, buy it on audiobooks. This is one of my favorite books to listen to on audiobooks. This is Michael Pollan. He's a great author too. But it's a thick book if you read it. So I always listen to the audiobook. It's like 16 hours long though, but the information in this literally can change your life. The things that this guy talks about, especially about how psychedelics can change your life. It's basically what I did. I ate a magic mushroom and could really change my life. And I've read this book, listened to it 3 times now. And Michael Pollan, I mentioned his book because he has another book where he has a podcast too. I don't know if he actually talked about it in the book, but he actually stopped drinking coffee for 2 months. He said one day he went and had a cup of espresso, and he said he nearly tripped. He nearly tripped like when you do mushrooms. He said he had such a profound experience that it made him realize how strong coffee actually is. And if you eliminate a lot of the caffeine in the coffee over a period of time and then consume it again, you realize that it really much is a drug. It really has a very strong effect on our brain. Hey, what's going on, Kendra? I'm talking a mixture of mushrooms, yeah. But I was actually referring to Michael Pollan's book too, and he actually wrote a book. So this book is mostly about the last 40 to 50 years of the science of magic mushrooms and psychedelics. And I know they made a Netflix series on this. There's 4 episodes on the Netflix series, but they only cover 30% of the information in this book. So the book, even if you've seen the Netflix documentary, listen to the book, because there's so much more information in the book that was not mentioned on Netflix. So this is still a #1 bestseller. It was written in 2017. It's been a #1 New York bestseller for quite a while now with the legalization of psychedelics happening. This book definitely has all of the information you need to know. There's a lot of stuff in here about people who have done psychedelics underground, a lot of their personal stories, and they talk about how they changed their life doing mushrooms, or it's very interesting. Yeah, it says in psychedelic mushrooms. So I talk about magic mushrooms, and as people know, because in 2020 I did my first magic mushroom trip, and everything after that changed. I changed my whole life. There's not really any aspect that is the same. Even this my beliefs, everything that's behind me is based on this, basically the last 3 years. And I have a lot of crystals. I've had hours. I've probably listened to 200 hours, literally, of YouTube videos talking about magic mushrooms, because I wanted to know everything about it, and I still do. There's still so much to learn. So at that point, I started using mushrooms, and I had one magic mushroom trip, and everything changed after that. I continued to use mushrooms every weekend for about 4 months, and that sounds crazy, but I did them in a very different way. I was actually chasing information in my brain. And what magic mushrooms allow you to do, they open up your subconscious, which, if you think of your subconscious, there's an iceberg, and usually 10% of the iceberg is above the water. So let's say that's your consciousness. That's you. That's your ability to think and know and be aware of what everything is in this world and what comes out of your eyes. Under that 90%, the rest of it, that 90%, is underneath the surface. You have no access to it. You do not. You're not aware of it. It stays below the surface, and there's a reason that your brain does that. It's to protect you. It's to protect you from being in a panic mode all the time, from being aware of everything that's in your subconscious. So magic mushrooms basically give you access to that subconscious, and they also kill your ego, so they allow you to access this information without having a fear. So your fear disappears, your ego dissolves, and you're left with like who you truly are. And it's more like a naked self, I guess you could say, of your personality. So that was a really good explanation of what psychedelic mushroom is and how I've used them in the last 3 years. I do not use them very much. I have not actually used them for a while now. I've really found happiness in my life without having to use them. But there's a point in your life where some people need to use them, to understand themselves more. And obviously, you can tell I like talking about magic mushrooms. So I do love the fact that because they did save my life. I changed my career. I changed everything in my house. It's wild. And just because you're 37 years old, which I was then, doesn't mean you can't change your whole life. And that's what mushrooms do. They allow you to realize that. Because as we get older, our brains lose that ability to change, and that's very difficult as we age. Or that rigidity of our brains just being stuck, and that's what we refer to as the 70-year-olds get off my lawn guy. By the time somebody gets to that age, they have the ability to not become anybody else but that person. And I realized that mushrooms, they make you realize, like, hey, I'm this person, but I don't have to be. I don't have to live this life. I can change everything. And I did. I changed everything. I actually have to teach a class in 1 week. 5 years ago, there's actually no effing way that I would be able to do that. There's no way. I had a fear of speaking in public, and I've had it since I was a kid. I actually, in third grade, I actually purposely lost a spelling bee because I didn't want to go up on stage. I was the two kids left in class, and I purposely spelled a word wrong because I didn't want to be the one who won, because I knew then I would have to go up on stage, and I didn't want to do that. So I've had a fear of it. Mushrooms help me overcome that. Usually now when I go into a classroom, this will be the 4th time I've taught this class. The flow just comes to me, especially when I'm talking about mushrooms, and it'll be a really good class. Hope you're having a good day too, Jane. What's going on, Jenny? How you doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Has anybody else thought about doing mushroom therapy as well? I know, Kendra, you came in here and said something, and I know I pique a lot of people's interest when I talk about how this stuff affects your brain, you can change your whole life. This book, like the description of this book, is exactly what mushrooms do. How to change your mind. And I changed my mind. I really did. I took that, basically the snow globe. My brain before 2020 was a snow globe that had settled in just a pile of snow at the bottom. There was nothing else. And I took that snow globe and I shook the shit out of it. I really did. And that's a good explanation of what I did to my brain. Because I realized that what I was, I was going down one path of just darkness, and I realized there was a lot more roads out there, and I realized that this wasn't the life I had to live. And I still get emotional even talking about it, because it was such a profound moment in my life. And there's more things now that I can talk about that podcasting haven't let me talk about, because when I first started, I couldn't even discuss this stuff without getting emotional. Because they're the most, those experiences I had by myself were some of the most profound experiences that I've ever had as a human being. And it's wild to think. It really is. That laying on your couch by yourself can be one of the most profound experiences that you ever have in your life. But that's exactly the way it went down multiple times. I have had now probably 6 or 7 extremely profound experiences. And every single one of them is special in their own way. Like, every one was not the same profound experience. So, they're just all moments when you take them and you realize something in your life, Hey, Margaret, how are you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day as well. Betty, it's definitely a challenge. Anybody who has bipolar, I definitely don't invite them to do what I've done, because excuse me, there were many times where I thought I was going to go crazy. Many times I thought I was going to go crazy, and it was very difficult to do these mushrooms and not have anybody to talk to about, like, who understood me. I did have a medium friend, and I do invite people to bring in the spiritual side of mushroom use. And she really helped guide me through how these really weird but profound experiences actually were related to your life, mostly to your childhood. And that's the way our dreams are too. Our dreams are stories that our subconscious is trying to tell us, usually based more or less on our younger years of life. And a lot of us are just like, oh, it was just a dream, and we struggle to connect the connection of what the dream's trying to tell us. And that's pretty normal as a human. Now, if you do mushrooms, you can become a lot more aware of these dreams. So if I do have a dream, I usually know. I usually know what it's trying to tell me. And it'll be usually like if stories about being stuck somewhere or being in jail. That's your subconscious trying to tell you to move on from something. There's a lot of things that happen in our dreams and subconscious that are part of our lives, but just in very bizarre dreams. So I have recurring dreams, and I actually had a dream when I was younger, and I would have sleep paralysis. Now, I did not know this till about 4 years ago 2 years ago when I connected the dots while I was on mushrooms. I realized that at that point in my life, I was actually experiencing sleep paralysis, and I was actually, I believe what was happening when I was waking up in a panic attack. And I remember as a kid waking up and not being able to understand what the time was. So I'd look at the clock, but I would have no comprehension of how to read it. And it's happened about 6 times in my life. and I usually cannot move. It usually feels like there's a rock sitting on my chest. So I thought that was a normal thing that humans experience, but later found out that it could have been sleep paralysis. And so I figured that out while on mushrooms. So that's, you can really figure out your past and become more aware of things in your life, even in your past, that you may not have known. I never told anybody about it because when it happened, I was like, well, I thought maybe I woke up while dreaming and I was still dreaming and not, being able to just be in the other world, you're like stuck in, which is my understanding what sleep paralysis is. You kind of get stuck in between sleeping and the dream world. I've never experienced them as adults. I think if I can remember, the last one I ever had was when they started putting me on medication for behavior issues. That's probably when it really stopped. So about probably 10 or 12, which is interesting now that I put that connection together too. I'm like, well, maybe it was actually the medication they gave me that actually stopped the sleep paralysis. A lot of interesting things that happen to our body that we still really don't understand. And I think that natural medicine, I think magic mushrooms, I think finding a natural path in your life is really the best way to live a long life. You can't keep, everybody complains about getting older, but I'm like, well, you're going to get older. You have to change. You have to change to how your body changes. So, if you like if your metabolism slows down to your 40s, working out can increase it again. So there are things that you can do as you age to prevent, from getting older. And I'm at one of those stages. I'm like getting older, and I'm like, well, I have to change. I can't keep doing the same shit, have your whole life and expect to live a healthy life. Yeah, you can definitely have a spiritual awakening, and by meditating as well. Meditation is definitely the first way to get into your subconscious. Now, it takes a lot of work. There are very few people, I would even guess 1% of the population or less has the ability to meditate to a level where they can actually access their subconscious. Now, monks, if anybody's ever seen that experiment with monks, they did a brain scan on a monk who had 15 years of practice. He was a full monk. He had actually been able to change the chemistry of his brain, and it actually looked very similar to somebody who was on magic mushrooms. So you put his brain scan next to somebody on magic mushrooms, and they were literally identical. And it's wild, but that's it. You can change the chemistry of your brain through meditation, and that experiment there proved that even the monk's brain actually changes chemistry wise through such a chemistry change as using a magic mushroom. So it's very interesting, but it's very, very hard to get to that level. A 15-year monk, he has thousands and thousands of hours of meditation behind him, to change the chemistry of his brain. So I believe that we have the ability to consciously change our chemistry of our body, but it takes that meditation, and we just don't understand that part of it. We don't understand how much our brain can actually change, the chemistry of our body, but it very much can. Brain is very powerful. In fact, that thing that sits on your head is the most powerful thing in the universe that we know of. There's nothing but the more advanced, more complex than what is inside of our head anywhere in the universe. And people forget that. And you have to appreciate that. We may call ourselves dumb, stupid humans, but the ability to do what we do as humans is very, very amazing. Yep, ADHD makes meditation very hard. I feel you. So before I did mushrooms, I didn't even know how to meditate. Mushrooms, it's very interesting. I feel like they gave me the instructions of how to meditate. They put a therapist inside of my head, and they gave me all this information that I maybe was in there already, or maybe the mushrooms, spoke it to me. But either way, I now know the importance of a lot of things, the importance of boundaries, the importance of meditation, the importance of being alone. the importance of being with nature, the importance of getting sunshine. Like sunshine, one of the basic aspects of life, but if you do not get it, you will suffer. And I understand that now more than ever in my life, that the sun, I have to be in the sun, I have to see it, and when I don't, I get really sad. So I don't know how people live in Alaska, but it's dark for 23 hours a day sometimes, so couldn't do that. I usually don't cough, but that was a rough one. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. Don't forget to hit that like, love, share, reaction button. And also, we have a giveaway, but I keep taking that down off the screen. There we go. I'll spend some money to pay for somebody's cup of coffee. And again, if you're just joining me, we've just been talking about different stuff. I don't know if I'm still going to go in the lab today because I do have a lot of things I have to do. Change the oil in my truck and run a bunch of errands. And I'm actually teaching a class next week, so I have to prepare for that. I'm teaching a class at the Macomb Gardeners Day. And I don't know if you can still sign up. This is the event I will be at next Saturday, the 26th Annual Gardeners Day put on by the University of Illinois Extension Gardeners. So these are events that they usually have throughout the state that are paid through state grants. And they're more or less to help people teach people about gardening. Now, these classes do cost money, but they're pretty affordable. They're $35 if you pre-register, and that includes a meal. You can't beat that. But you can see me right there. There's the speaker number 1, Dan Baird. So it's basically, there'll be a whole bunch of different classes people can select through. I believe there's 4 time slots. And so people will pick 4 classes and then have a lunch between the 4 classes. And I'll be teaching how to grow mushrooms at home. And then right after that, teaching how to cook mushrooms at home. So those are the 2 classes I'm teaching. And I've already taught one of them, each of them once. I've taught the how to grow mushroom class twice. So I'm excited about that. Let me see when the registration is over. We have 100 people so far, I know, for the 4 slots. So usually a lot of people end up joining the mushroom class because a lot of people find it intriguing. So last year I did it. We had 33 people in the how to grow mushrooms class, and then we had about 22 in the how to cook mushroom class. So, well, I guess it doesn't say when you can register up to. I think you can pay the day of. After March. Yeah, so you can, registration deadline is actually March 29th. So they do have a deadline. So apparently it's over. But it says they do accept late registration and walk-ins based on space. So if there's still space available in the class, they apparently will let you in. But it is limited capacity, and it'll be interesting to get up to a new city that's about an hour and a half away from mine. I won't know anybody there, and get to meet new people and talk to mushrooms about to like-minded people. That's what I like to do. So I do a PowerPoint presentation. That's how I've presented in the past. And then I do kind of some live demonstrations. I hand out pamphlets and sheets. I actually take a little mycology tour in the class. I kind of give people, introduce them to information that they may have learned in high school, because you have to know to grow mushrooms. And then we teach them how to grow at home, the whole step-by-step process. And whether they choose to go home and do it, is up to them. But we give them the knowledge to do it, and that's. Sounds good. You're welcome to message me. I always like talking to people about their spiritual journey or magic mushrooms in general. And thanks for joining me. How you doing, Shauna? Hope you're having a great day. I'm waiting for it to warm up a little bit because, like I said, I got to go change the oil in my truck, in the big diesel truck. So it's got 15 quarts in it, and I got 15 quarts. And you know what the craziest thing is? We actually have taken that vehicle into oil change places, and they try to charge us $300 to $500 to change the oil. Insane. Because it's 15 quarts, they usually charge by the quart. But it takes me 15 minutes to do. I can do it in 15 minutes, and these places are charging $300 to $500. I'm like, somebody is making hundreds of dollars an hour. So anybody else got those big diesel trucks and have the same issue with oil change places who base their service on quarts? So if usually your normal vehicle is 4 to 5, 6 quarts, and big diesel engines 15. Ridiculous. So my boss pays me to do it. But it's supposed to be mid-60s today. It's going to be beautiful weather to get out in your yard. I bet you a lot of you people up here are getting ready for that outdoor gardening. Who out there is excited for the outdoor garden season? It's supposed to be 68 degrees here in Quincy today, and it's 62 right now. Beautiful, beautiful day. Let me put that back up there. I forgot to take my lion's mane this morning too. It's already 11:30, but I did have a little lion's mane in my coffee. But I did, and I can kind of usually tell. So my job requires me to do a lot of walking, and you have to have a lot of energy and cognitive ability to kind of do the job that I have, because I have to multitask multiple things through the day. So I notice when I don't take the lion's mane, that I kind of struggle to do the multitasking slightly more. But I enjoy multitasking. That's why I love my job. I love the job where it allows you to multitask during the day, because then it makes the day go by very fast. So we worked 14-hour day yesterday, but it did not feel that like it was 14 hours. And because of the fact that I take lion's mane, and you just get that flow, that brain flow, where you're like, oh, everything's going great. The worst thing is to be at work and be aware of the clock moving, because that thing of day goes by so slow. And that is the worst thing in the world to feel that way. So I feel like lion's mane really eliminates and makes the day just flow by. Everything's flowing, your brain's flowing, you'll be able to take on all these problems that come your way. And lion's mane definitely 100%, especially at 1,000 milligrams, allows you to take on the day and conquer it, and then and not let it beat you up so much in your mental health. Because that's what life is. Life is basically a day-to-day process of basically facing problems and dealing with them. And every single day, and every single one of our lives, every single person on this planet has an issue they have to solve, face, and then move on from. And that's life. That's the way life is. And the lion's mane definitely, effectively helps you do that. That flow. We do have that. We're going to give away usually $5 or $6, pay for somebody's coffee this morning. And then tomorrow morning we have the coffee time with Dan and Rasta. Appreciate it, Chris. They're always available on the website. Welcome to order. And I haven't been to a farmer's market in 2 weeks. I'm kind of preparing for this class. And then after the class, we're really going to have all of our new products available at the farmer's market. So I'm working on the three capsule mix that we're going to be having soon. So it's going to be the reishi, turkey tail, and lion's mane all in one capsule. And these three all together will really conquer any kind of gut issues, cognitive issues, your gut bacteria, prebiotics. This will be the product to use. And I really think that it'll easily become my most popular product. It's going to be, like I said, the lion's mane turkey tail, reishi mixed capsule. All 3 of them in one capsule. I've already noticed a profound difference every time I introduce a mushroom into my life. I'm very sensitive to things that I digest, so when I introduced turkey tail, I definitely felt my digestive system definitely start to change because it is a prebiotic. And then we're also going to introduce the mushroom coffee, but that's still got a few months away. Lots of experimenting to do. And then we'll have all our mushrooms. So we're starting to cultivate a lot more mushrooms. And I'm excited about that because I haven't really grown a lot of mushrooms this year yet. And that's where, that's what people want at the farmer's market. So once the spring market hits, we're going to have a lot more mushrooms available. I have some golden oysters growing now. We got a whole bunch of turkey lion's mane growing. We got, I just bought some new mushroom species. I bought 4 more mushrooms. I bought another shiitake strain. I bought another blue oyster strain. I think I bought another oyster species. And then I can't remember what the 4th mushroom was, but I've been buying new species, and I really want to have about 8 different kinds of species at the farmer's market. I want to be that guy, like they come, because when people see this, they walk up. Like I can 100% tell the difference between when I have mushrooms and when I don't, because people see the mushrooms and they become intrigued, and then they walk over to your table and they eventually make a purchase. The mushrooms really draw people in, especially the pink oysters. So people find that very intriguing when I have pink oyster mushrooms, and because a lot of people are just unaware that mushrooms can be pink. Hey, how you doing, Robin? Save on shipping, huh? Yeah, you could save on shipping using Pirate Ship. Hey, Robin, how you doing? Appreciate everybody stopping in here today. Don't forget to hit that like, share, reaction button, please. There are a lot of people who do come in and watch afterwards, and I try to a lot of useful information about different things. And today we've kind of talked about mushroom coffee, magic mushrooms, and some herbal medicine, of course, as I always do. I'm on day 6 now of not drinking any coffee. That's a pretty profound difference in my life, and I've noticed a lot of differences with my ability to sleep deeper. I have less digestive issues. I'm able to think better. I should say. Trying to be more specific. I am able to recall information better when I don't drink coffee. I've noticed that this week. When I recall information in my brain, I can actually recall it better, and I have that brain fog because the coffee seems to do that to me now. I do enjoy the rush of the coffee and how it kind of makes your brain the ability to think a little clearer, but there is a crash point, and then there can be like manic episodes that happen, as well as heart palpitations. And I was getting heart palpitations, and I have a rib injury, and it's really hard to tell if the rib injury that goes right over the heart, if it's the actual rib injury causing it, or if I'm actually having heart palpitations. So I did go to the doctor, and she said to say my heart seemed okay, but maybe I need to do some further testing. But it's gone away this week. I had one little episode on the roof, and I do notice that sometimes, and maybe I do a lot of things on my phone because my job is to text people, the customer. So I'll text them throughout the day, giving them updates, pictures. And sometimes I text from the roof, and all of a sudden, the other day I looked up from my phone while I was on the roof, and my heart started beating, felt like a little bit of heart palpitation. So I haven't had those happen in 5 days now. Maybe my rib injury is getting better. Maybe it isn't even heart palpitations, but it is. And when the rib slides out of place, the rib actually spasms, and the spasms happen right over the heart. So it's a really weird feeling when it happens. Basically, my rib gets stuck in the sit position. So when you sit down, your rib moves. When you stand up and you're in the up position, it actually slides forward, and but it wasn't sliding forward, but it was actually compressing, my chest. Shitty injury to have, but it's been getting better. I probably only deal with it about 10-15% of the day now, the discomfort of it. But it's part of getting old. Lion's mane helps with inflammation. So lion's mane, the first thing it does is it starts in the gut, and it really helps strengthen the gut brain connection. A lot of your serotonin is actually made in your gut, and then it's sent up to your brain. So it really helps strengthen that gut connection, and then you have better moods, less depression, and then you have the brain fog that disappears. You have the ability to think better, as well as the prevention of Alzheimer's. It has a little bit of effect on pain relief, but CBD, CBG, the product that I have on my website, probably has a more profound effect on pain. And that's on the greatrivermushrooms.com. And there's a lot of information on that CBD, CBG. But the CBD, CBG, don't be intimidated by it. It is a little more expensive, but that bottle will last you longer than the lion's mane. So usually you'll have to take one capsule a day. So that CBD, CBG that I sell can last about 2 months for some people. But really, really good for pain relief. When I notice when I take it, take my CBD, CBG regularly, how much I'm able to have less back pain, which is what I deal with. See, that was the problem I did last time, Chris, is I actually, I tried to stop drinking coffee like 6 months ago, and I tried to use tea as an alternative, and I did not like it at all. And I ended up going back to coffee. Tea just, it tastes like watered down plant material. That's what it tastes like to me. And I've tried, I have 6 different teas I bought. I tried all kinds of teas. I just couldn't find one I enjoyed. So I think I really found a better alternative with this mushroom powder and the chocolate and the honey. No, you do not need to take it. Remove that word. I want to remove that rib. You need to take the turkey tail more. No, you don't need to take it with the lion's mane. They do work better if you take them together. I take 1,000 milligrams of each morning, so I haven't taken it yet this morning, but I will after this live, and then I'll be able to be a little bit more effective. I actually take them with a meal too, so I've noticed when I take them with a meal, I deal with digestive issues sometimes. It seems to eliminate those digestive issues. Your body still processes all the mushrooms, Need CBD for your old dog. I eventually will have a CBD product for dogs. I just haven't developed one yet. I'm really struggling to find a recipe that can have a longevity shelf life, or finding a recipe. But eventually I will. Sounds good, Leslie. Appreciate it. Many different kinds of mushrooms. Yes, there are very many different. The lion's mane is still one of the strongest ones, the ones that I see the most effective, besides, magic mushrooms. Which a lot of people do confuse lion's mane with magic mushrooms, because I talk about magic mushrooms, but magic mushrooms are not lion's mane. Completely different mushroom. Lion's mane is obviously is 100% legal. So many different kinds of teas. Yes, you are correct. I just liked sweet tea. That's the only tea I like. And obviously sweet tea is not good. I have eliminated sugar pretty much altogether. Now I did have a soda yesterday, and I'll have a soda sparingly, like maybe once or twice a week. But if I ever consume any more sugar, it starts to hurt. The whole body starts to hurt. So I am avoiding sugar from now on. And there's obviously a lot of benefits from that. This, one of the best alternatives to sugar right here is honey. Use honey on everything. You can even caramelize honey, and it tastes so delicious. Instead of using, sugar. And I did try the tea with honey too, and I still didn't like it. I actually put a lot of honey in it, and I was like, still tastes like something I don't want to drink. Well, CBD for dogs and humans are the same, but the product that I sell is in a capsule, and it's really hard to give a dog a capsule. And it's 16 milligrams, which is a little strong for a dog. So when you give it to a dog, CBD for a dog, you want to start in 1 milligram increments for your smaller dogs, and 5 milligrams increments for anything over 80 pounds. So the larger dogs would get 5 milligrams, and then you kind of dose from there. So 16 milligrams would be a little too strong for any dog, because you have to remember that we humans weigh a lot more than most dogs. Usually 100 to 150 more pounds, humans are. And their bodies process things differently. So I been trying to make a CBD, maybe a dropper that you can put on their food, or maybe I'm trying to make a product that is actually like a bone you can give them that has CBD in it. But I'll eventually come up with a product. It's just I've made it twice now, and I was not happy with what I made, so I went back to the drawing board, and I'm still there with the CBD for dogs. Make all your tea sweet, right? Ain't nothing like some good sun tea in the summer. Oh man, that's a nostalgic just thing to think about. Because all the teas I've drank in my life, sit that sun tea out there, get it baked in the sun in that afternoon, 90-degree July sun, and bring it in, put some sugar in it on a really hot day, and then go sit in front of the air conditioner. Yep, that's my kind of sweet tea. Yep, with honey. You got a big dog. I had a big dog too. My dog, before he passed away, was a 120-pound Doberman, and he was not fat. He was muscle. Like, you touched the side of him, and he was not any fat on him. He eventually ended up having a heart attack, and he died at about 6 years old, fortunately. One of the downfalls of having a Doberman is there is a high percentage chance that that's how your Doberman's going to go out. You're going to have a heart attack, and it sucks that the Doberman breed still has a huge issue with that. And my dog apparently had it too. But I'll eventually get another Doberman. It's been over three years now since he passed away. He just fell over chasing the squirrel in the yard. He had a heart attack. Appreciate it, Mike. That's old, man. If my dog would live 16, man, that would have been remarkable. But she died at 6. I only had her for 5 years. There's a tick, as they call it, a heart tick that the Doberman breed has, and they did actually they did a study once on the Doberman breed. It was recently. They took all these dead Doberman, and they opened up their chest for people who donated to this program. And it was like nearly 60% of these Doberman had the heart defect. And the heart defect basically, the Doberman from the day it's born at any age could literally, their heart could spasm out or something, and they basically have a massive heart attack and die. And it could happen anywhere, from 6 months to 6 years, like mine did, to any time older in their life. It's something they're trying to breed out of Doberman. It's probably more or less a heart condition based because the Doberman is one of the youngest breeds on Earth, and it was created by humans. A lot of people don't remember that there was actually a mailman in 1899 who had access to dog kennel, and he bred 5 dogs together and created the Doberman. It was super aggressive when they first made it, but now it's been tamed and genetically altered to be the dog it is now. It's a very loving and loyal family dog, and a lot of people still misunderstand the Doberman. You can see your comments, Mike. Yes, the Doberman breed is people still associated with the 80s breed when the dog was a little more aggressive, used more as police dogs. But that aggressive part of the Doberman has been completely bred out. I actually had a champion show dog that was actually dumped at a habit or a humane society, and what had happened is his ear didn't crop right, my dog's, and he wasn't a show worthy dog. So a lot of times these breeders will just give him to the humane society, and because they can't use him anymore. So I actually got a dog that was he just had a flopped over ear that wasn't cropped right, but he had like superior genetics. You could tell that he was a special kind of Doberman. But he was intimidating. He got loose once, and he scared the shit out of the mailman. If you see a 120-pound Doberman running at you, you not know what the fuck what he's gonna do. But he ran over there, and all he did was start licking him. All he wanted to do was say hello. And he walked the Doberman back because my dog he listened really well. He was already trained really well. He was a really good listener, but intimidating as hell if he's running at you and you don't know him. Those mini pinchers are vicious. I had a neighbor who had 2 of them, and those things they're just really vicious animals. They dig up moles too. They dug up the whole yard and killed like 4 moles. But anytime my Doberman was out there and those mini pinchers had to make it pronounced that they were the ones who ran the show there. But my dog gave 2 shits that they would sit there and bark at him the whole time. He would just ignore them. I think there are intelligent dogs out there that can actually ignore other dogs, and they do it on purpose to just make the other dogs even angrier that they're not acknowledging them. And my Doberman was very good at that. He was like, I've never seen a dog ignore other dogs so well. His ability to do it. He's probably like, if you're not smart enough to talk to me, I ain't stopping. That's probably what my Doberman was, because he was very intelligent. Have you seen the movie called The Doberman Gang? I have not. Is it about dogs? The Dobermans? The Dobermans are the only breed I ever get. I'm actually breed specific, so like I will never adopt any dog but a Doberman. There are a lot of reasons for that, more or less for the loyal reasons and the fact they have short hair, so they don't, when they do shed, they don't shed like a German Shepherd, which German Shepherds are just as intelligent. But I like the fact that the hair issue, and they're intimidating, but they're sweet and loyal. So there's a lot of things I like with the Doberman breed. And so I'll eventually get another dog, and I'll eventually get another Doberman. I know people who are that way too. All the people who are Doberman lovers only get Doberman because they realize how special the Doberman breed is. All small breeds are vicious. Once you get a Doberman, you never go back, because you're like, wow, these dogs are badass, and they're just intelligent, quick learners. I always refer to them as humans in a dog's body because they kind of act like humans. They are expensive though. If you're gonna buy them from a straight breeder, you can spend anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. So I got mine for $200 at a humane society, so I got a deal. And he was in there for 28 days, which is surprising. But like I said, a lot of people just don't understand the Doberman breed, so they're kind of reluctant to adopt a Doberman, but not realize that they're worth like thousands of dollars if you bought them from a legit breeder. I know what you're talking about, the Roadshine Ridgeback. Aren't they smaller Doberman? They only get to like 80 pounds, and the females are even smaller. The Rhodesian Ridgeback. And don't they have more of a reddish hair tint to them? We'll see you later, Christopher. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. Yeah, labs are definitely really smart, but they definitely shed a lot. I'm kind of a neat freak, and I never thought I'd have a dog, and then that Doberman, somebody sent me a picture. He was available in the Humane Society, and that was the first time I ever had a dog. And I got used to having the hair, and I didn't mind it because, like I said, the Doberman are short-haired, so they don't shed a lot as much as a lab would. Well, they're huge. Which one? Oh, the Ridgebacks. All right. Yeah, there's apparently European Doberman and American Doberman, and the European Doberman are slightly bigger than the American Dobermans. And I had a European Doberman, and there are a few ways to actually tell. You can actually go to websites, and if you have a Doberman, and be able to tell if they're an American or European breed. It's interesting, but a lot of people don't realize the World War II, Hitler, if you owned a Doberman, you had to give the Doberman to the military. So every time he invaded a country, he would take the Doberman, and what they would do to these Doberman, they would put bombs on them, send them into bunkers, and strap bombs on them and blow soldiers up. And the European people, other countries, were scared that Hitler was going to annihilate the whole Doberman breed. So they sent the Doberman breed over to America. They shipped a whole bunch of them over there during World War II, and to save the breed in case Hitler eventually took the whole continent. And so there was an American breed and the European breed, and that's where they kind of broke off. And now we have two different kinds of breeds. All because of World War II. But interesting fact, a lot of people don't know that. It's almost beautiful here. I need to get to 68 degrees outside to turn the music. Sorry, to open the doors and windows. And we're about there. I think it's 66 degrees now. So I think we can probably open the door up. Heck yeah. I don't know if I can ever have a German Shepherd, man. I've had German Shepherds in my house for like play dates with my other dog, and like the amount they shed just from being in my house for an hour, it's crazy. I don't know if I'd ever be able to deal with the amount that Shepherds shed. Pretty crazy. They especially during their winter breed, the Shepherd doesn't just like have a shitload of hair. Yeah, I love fresh air too. Sunlight, fresh air with some good music. Which is probably something I'm going to get going here. I'm probably going to give in this live here in probably 9 minutes. We'll end here an hour and a half. And we'll give away this giveaway here in a few minutes. Appreciate y'all joining me in the Mushroom Lounge. Talk a little bit about mushrooms, mushroom coffee. Talked a lot about that today. I'm very intrigued now that I've now accomplished 6 days of not drinking coffee. The longest I've made it in decades. So I don't have a cold. I think it's just the the dry air, Leslie. It's been dry lately, and I've actually my throat's been so dry that sometimes I cough up a little bit of blood. But I'm not sick. It's just more or less the dry air that's been coming around. We need some humidity, that's for sure. I worked outside all day yesterday, and it got really warm, but it was still really dry air. You can see my face is a little red. and it was windy as hell. God, it got windy as hell. So I'm probably just suffering from the fact working outside all day in that dry air. My throat, I need to eat some more honey or something to help moisten up my throat, which I probably just need to drink some water. But I'm definitely feeling excellent today. I am I'm energized. That mushroom coffee, like I said, now that I don't start the day with that straight caffeine. I'm more or less getting my energy bump from the lion's mane. It has really, really helped me a lot of different ways. Digestive, sleep, and everybody can do it themselves. Try drinking coffee. Stop drinking coffee for a few days, and you'll notice some of the benefits you see. But coffee is awesome. If you can keep drinking it, and your body allows you to, more power to you. But my body lately, my brain's been changing, and my body has been changing, and I've had to adjust with it. And sometimes I wonder if that's because of my magic mushroom use, because now my body's changed so much, and then I realize how much I've changed the chemistry of my brain, how much I've figured out a lot of my past, how I've just healed a lot of things and found better ways to find happiness naturally. If the fact that I still consume coffee now kind of changed the coffee's effect on my brain. And I think maybe it did, because the more I actually felt like I healed, the more I felt like coffee had a negative effect on me. And maybe it's because you had fixing those regions in my brain that needed, chemistry fixed through ribosylin use. And, I always think about that. Hey, what's going on, Chuck? How you doing? Cows leaving hairballs. Yeah, the best way to quit is a lot of humans we're not addicted to as much as the substance as the action of drinking the coffee. So like the ritual of getting up every morning and drinking something is my issue. I had the same issue when I quit smoking cigarettes. So a lot of times I quit hanging out in situations where I'd want a cigarette. So yeah, it's might have more effect on actually the finding some alternative, to drinking coffee than the action of doing it. Because my body hasn't been craving it. I'm not like dying over here because I haven't had coffee in 6 days. I'm definitely feel like I'm feeling better, flowing better, and the benefits over time will be, really good. Especially when I have my own coffee brand. So this is the universe telling me, I'm like, hey, there's people out there that could use this product. It's a good time now to develop that mushroom alternative coffee, so people can have alternatives to coffee. It's probably get that Starbucks. I mean, I love Starbucks too. It's delicious. The hat brought you here. I got the fishing hat on. Well, you can either do some gardening in this, you can do some fishing. Imagine my goal is I'm going to take a picture of this and quote me now at Bennett Springs trout fishing this year. So that is a bucket list goal this year. And if you ever been, I know you're not from around here, Chuck Rock, but Bennett Springs is a state park in Missouri. It's about 3 hours away, where they actually raise the trout. There's this hole in the ground, this giant hole that goes hundreds of feet deep, and it literally bubbles out the spring water that feeds this place. And they raise all the trout there, and then they release the trout into the river. But it's an awesome place to go trout fishing. Pretty historic place. Like, if anybody who lives in Missouri who recommends amazing trout fishing, they're like, you got to go to Bennett Springs. So I'll hopefully be wearing it then, and I'll be catching my 5 limit trout every day. So they raise so many trout there. It's a 5-day limit of trout. You can catch 5 limit. And this place is like jam packed. Like, if you go on the shore of the busiest part of the season, you literally have like 5 feet on each side of you to fish. And that's why you have to do fly fishing. You can't fish any other way there because you'll hit people in the head with your line, and yeah. So I love it too because it allows you to fly fish too. Fly fish and trout is an awesome experience. I did it as a kid. I haven't really done it since, but it's pretty easy to learn too. A lot of people get intimidated when you're like, fly fishing, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can. You just snapping a little bit of line. And then you really feel the fish too when you reel it in. Yeah, you got any trout fishing places in New York there, Chuck? Starbucks starts talking to your brain. The live stream hat. Need to get Chuck Rock a live stream hat. I'll get him a mushroom hat. So many, huh? That's awesome. It's also about to be morel hunting season around here, mushroom hunting season. It's a big deal around here. Cheers, everybody. Hey, what's going on, Mikey? All right, let's get this thing away. See who wins it. I'll give everybody else here 1 second to get back in there, and then I'll spin it. Hell yeah. All right, hit it. Good luck, everybody. Deb Rose. Little golf clap. Deb Rose is still here. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, there you are, Deb Rose. Hey. Just send me, if you have a Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. And if you don't, we'll figure out some other way to send it to you. But just send me one of those and I'll send you that little bit of cash to help pay for your next coffee. Why is that so loud? But appreciate it. Congratulations. Appreciate you joining me today. I didn't get in the lab, but I didn't know if I was going to. That was kind of the last thing because I was limited on my time today. And if I go in the lab, sometimes I can spend hours in there. So I might go in there later by myself. I've been doing with my new product, my new concrete mixer. I've been able to make mushroom bags a lot easier now. So I've been increasing my ability to grow mushrooms throughout the week. So I will be growing a lot more mushrooms. Excited about that. Excited about the ability to grow 8 different strains. All right, I'll try to remember that, but I send it to my messenger. I could write it down. Let me write it down too. And that is that Cash App? Is that what that is? Deb Rose, is that Cash App? I think it is. Okay, it's Cash App. Also got a lot of more big changes. I actually I just bought a 400 capsule pill press. So it's coming in the mail. That's going to really change a lot of things in my business because it's going to give me what I do. It's going to give me my ability to make, capsules a lot easier. So now I had a 100 pill press before. I started actually with the 24 pill press, moved up to 100. Now I have a 400 pill press. So I'm definitely excited about that. It's going to allow me to make capsules a lot easier. We're going to be able to offer even more affordable prices, sale prices, and get to more markets. So I've been reluctant to get to more markets because I'm scared I'm going to sell out like immediately. I haven't been able to produce enough products to go to these big markets where like you're going to have like 700 to 1,000 customers come through in a day. Even at the market I go to now, I sell out, and it's just hard to do with a 100 pill capsule machine. So I'm excited that this is a big deal to my business to have this new pill press and get out to people and actually see them in person. The farmers market, is where really the money is. And I appreciate you guys online. You guys are awesome. You guys buy a lot of my products. I appreciate it. But to make mushroom farming more of a full-time thing, you have to go to the farmers markets. You have to go to events. You have to meet people. That's where you find new customers. That's where you grow a business. And Leslie, you're right. I can feel my voice getting a little. I just think I need some water, which I'll get some water after here. But it does sound like I have a cold, but I don't. Throat's definitely dry. Well, you're welcome, Deb. I'll get that to you later today. I'm gonna get off here, get outside, and do some work. I gotta go change the oil, like I said, run some errands, and I hope everybody else has a really awesome, lovely day. And go get some sunshine if it's available in your area. The sun's shining here. Oh, I appreciate it, Leslie. But all the stars go to help my program, Fungi and Friends. If you didn't know that, Leslie. So if you donate stars, all that money helps the Fungi and Friends program. And then I'll play that commercial here real quick before I end this, just to explain that. If you do send stars.
Hey guys, it's Dan the Mushroom Man. Just wanted to remind you that if you donate to those Facebook stars, all those donations will go to Fungi and Friends school program at Great River Mushrooms and Herbal. And that school program is where we bring hands-on skills into the classroom to children and teach them about the fungi kingdom and the knowledge to grow those mushrooms. Again, learn more at the website greatrivermushrooms.com, folks.
So that'll help pay for new items to help, teach those kids about it. And my business, I was going to use some of that money to buy an item, but my business ended up buying it. I didn't have to use any of the Fungi and Friends star money. So that mostly that money is going to go to help the actual class where kids could actually go home with a bag of mushroom or things to grow mushrooms at home. So those items are, cost money and all the ingredients to do that. So that's really what all the stars will go to. And that program will probably start next year, fall of 2024. So it'll probably be about 6 months before we do that. But I've already taught a class once to some students, but I want to make it a whole different kind of thing than I did before. Because last time I kind of just went out there and put it together and I'm like, well, I don't know what to expect. But it was awesome. Had a lot of kids interested in these exotic gourmet mushrooms. But I appreciate you all joining me. I'm going to go get my day started. Hope you all do the same. And again, we'll be live tomorrow, me and Rasta, as far as I know. We'll be on coffee time with Dan and Rhino. So join us again tomorrow morning. We'll probably be talking about some interesting subjects like we always do and having a good time. And I'll be drinking my mushroom coffee. It'll be a full week tomorrow of not drinking the other coffee. So hopefully it'll still be okay because it'll be the first coffee time with Dan without actually having coffee. So anyway, you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys later. And I'm going to end it here with, again, that stars thing. And you all have a great day. Much love, guys. Actually, we'll end it with the Great River Mushrooms commercial. But much love, guys. Get out there and kick the day's ass.